1-2-1-2. Shouts out to Pokey Sue. Shouts out to Miss Marla. Good to see you guys. Let's get it.
Yeah. If I had the chance to make you happy more than once or twice, I'd take that chance in a heartbeat. I'd change your life. You the type, I'd call you my wife. Let's do it right. Do it right, baby. Do it right. Yeah. If I had my last dollar, I'd have spent it on you. Cause everything you do is perfect. I'm loving on you. To use 100 out of 10, times 10 times 2. But that's too many freaking numbers. You my number one, boo. Now holla back when you see the youngin' running the block. I swear to Bob, you the truth. Can't no one take your spot. Need to call your locksmith the way I got you on lock. Now I ain't really in the marriage, but for you I tie knots. Let's rock.
Yes, 1-2-1-2. As we move on, today is Friday.
If I had a dime for every time you
Y'all know how we do on Fridays.
Have $1 million in cash, should be worth my while. We be on top of the world.
And we're going to get in on it. All participants are welcome. All right. I'm having, Pokey Sue asked me what's going on. I'm having like little camera problems here for the moment. It's weird, but hopefully it's not too much light going on, but it was doing something really wacky that it never did to me before, but it's okay. We're going to make it happen. Now, once again, this is Conversations in Crete with possibly Sweet Mama G and possibly my brother DJ Shimmy and possibly DJ XL, right? So, but you guys are all welcome on here as well, right? Now, we're going to get this thing started. And you want to know what the topic is today? The topic today is this. My mate makes me mentally and physically sick. Have you guys ever been in that before? Been in that situation? Let us know, because that's where we're going at tonight, and how we can possibly deal with it or get out of it. You know, Miss Marla says it does be like that at times, talking about the topic. Yes, it is like that at times. And for our own sanity, sometimes we have to fix things. Either they're going to work or they're not going to work. 1 second, guys. All right, so trying to get this thing started over here. 1 second, guys. Hold on. So, like I said, we're gonna get things together tonight, and all of you guys are welcome. I'm gonna put up the link, and when I put up the link, you guys are welcome on, and bring y'all side of the story or y'all thoughts or whatever. Just bring it. Shouts out to Miss Marissa in the building. Big facts, Creek. Hey, sometimes, it's like that sometimes, right? Now, I'm going to start it off early, actually, and I'm going to put the link up in the comment section. And you guys are welcome on. Now, here it is. In relationships today, we can be happy or we can be very unhappy, right? Because relationships fluctuate, but how we take the time to work on the relationship really matters. We also sometimes try so much and we get to a point where it is unbearable. And it starts to make us physically and mentally sick trying to satisfy certain things in relationships. I got to move this camera here. I'm sorry, guys. So, with that being said, how do we look at this? How can you keep on with your life every day if a person physically or mentally makes you sick? Do you go to counseling? Do you go to therapy? Or do you get the heck on? Huh? You can email the topics. Actually, I'll put the email up a little during the show, and all of you guys' topics are definitely welcome. All right, because we're always bringing up topics in relationships. And shout out to everybody who is on TikTok stopping through. We appreciate y'all. This is the relationship show tonight, not the music show, but we would love for you guys to hit the like button anyway. And you guys are welcome to come on the show as well and share your views. But tonight's topic is my mate makes me mentally and physically sick. And let me invite someone on. We got Miss Marla in the building. What's going on, Miss Marla?
Hi, Craig.
Good to hear from you. Okay, Miss Marissa says setting boundaries. That's another thing, yes, that can actually help in a relationship. But you have to make sure you stick to your boundaries, that you put forth with that person in a relationship. So, have you ever been in a relationship, Miss Marla, where someone, your mate was physically and mentally making you sick?
Yep.
Okay. Were you at the age you are now, or were you more so in your 20s?
In my teens. Maybe my teen years and my 20s.
Okay. So was it a serious relationship, or was it like, was it all new to you and you were still adjusting yourself to being a woman and just getting into this relationship, not really knowing direction or anything? Or was it serious, you knew where you wanted to go with it?
Was my first. We lasted until I was 31, 32 or something like that.
So y'all was together for how many years?
11 and a half years.
Okay, well, that's good for a first relationship. And I want to send a major shout out to Miss Amelia in the building. Hello, Miss Amelia. Good to see you.
It was not my first relationship, but I had longer relationships before, but for that period of time, yeah, because like I said, I was, especially when I was younger, like in my teens, about like 15, 14 years old, I really had that bad attitude problem, and I try not to bring it out, and even though some people try to bring that hurt.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. When you guys were together that long, were you like, did he end up being like your baby's father, or he was just someone you were dating for the longest time?
Longest time. We was in a relationship, so, and that's the one who I told y'all months, a long time ago, who had passed away. So.
Okay, yeah, we're sorry to hear that for sure. But he was not.
I really don't care for him for real, but I appreciate it. And sorry, my daughter's up.
Okay, but he was not one of your baby's fathers, though. Miss Marla? Miss Marla?
Hello.
Was he one of your baby's fathers? Oh my gosh. Her phone, she must have got it from the Piggly Wiggly, or the internet service or whatever it was. So anyway, once again, shouts out to everybody who are joining us on TikTok. You're welcome to join the show. We are live here on YouTube, but we're going to have TikTok up and running definitely by next week, where we can have everybody together all on one platform and all on one screen, so that you guys can come in and on the show as well. Miss Marla, can you hear?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. So basically, but he, you said that he was not one of your baby's fathers, right?
No, he was.
Oh, he was. Okay. All right. So now, what was he doing to make you physically and mentally sick?
A lot. Talking to the females, typical. A man would do lying. He was doing a lot of stuff.
Okay, you saying talking to females in what way? Like he was trying to get with them, or he was in general talking to females out in the public?
Both. And even though, like I said once before,
Shouts out to Miss Christina in the building. Hello, good to see you. We hope everything is going well with you. She said Shannon Sharp got into some hot water. Yes, we heard about that. Shouts out to F. Harris in the building. What's going on, brother? He said women deal with a lot. And he said, man, Marla, we was listening too. Yeah, see, I don't know, Miss Marla, what kind of phone service or internet do you have? She just dropped again. But like I said, the lines are open for anybody to come on. But as we move on and until someone else comes back on, like in a relationship, Miss Marla.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Shouts out to Your Royal Highness in the building. Thank you so much for coming through. Say it's not him, it's the spirits that have taken up residence in his weak vessel and need deliverance. Whoa, that's powerful. That's powerful, right? So now, if you read that comment, Marla, do you see any truth to that was in your relationship? Do you see any truth to that from what Your Royal Highness said?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, all right. So,
but what I was saying was, I'm not bringing the past up. Like I said, living with my cousin, but I just don't understand. And I wish I got that chance to. I mean, he would have told the truth.
Okay, he would have told the truth. Did you ask him? F. Her said she must be on the trap phone. Yeah, probably so. You on the trap phone, Ms. Marla?
I'm going in and out. But anyways, like I said, I wish I would have got that chance to talk to him about it and did, but knowing him, he was going to lie about it.
I could have sworn you just said that he would have told the truth about it.
But I said 7 out of 10, he probably would. I mean, He was a very honest guy, but at the same time, he would not, probably wouldn't be honest. I would have had to ask her. Because, for example, I wonder, the girl was living, the last time I knew, the girl was living in Texas, and some reason, somehow, she got to Kansas City that quick. And she was with somebody else at that time, but their relationship backfired real hard. So, hey, that's what it is.
But why did you question him about any of it?
I questioned some parts about it, but not a whole lot. Because I asked her, and I feel like she didn't tell me the truth. So that's what it is.
You asked her, but you didn't ask him.
No. Because I know he was going to lie about it. I know that for a fact.
But you feel as though he told the truth.
No, I knew he was going to lie about it.
Right. I meant to say, so you feel as though she was going to tell the truth.
I know. I knew. Some parts she said it was true. Some parts I didn't believe it.
Okay. All right. F. Harris also said some men are not allowed to talk to females. Some women got to stop being insecure.
Well, I
Now,
don't believe it. I don't believe in that statement. Like I said, me personally, I don't mind since I go that way. If I wasn't going that way, I don't mind you talking to a female, but
okay, trap phone again. But we right here, Miss Marla. Now,
you,
go ahead. Go ahead.
you should you to a certain standard.
Say that again.
No, I said I hold a person to a certain standard. You know,
Okay.
if you're in a relationship. My bad.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, no, you good. So, but if he's talking to now, I don't know what kind of person he is. I mean, I don't know him from whatever. But here's my thing. Say, for instance, like me. Shout out to my brother Michael Mass is pulling up in the building. What's going on, family? Like me, I talk to almost anybody.
Right.
Any race, even if I don't understand their language, I'll pull out Google Translate. You see what I'm saying? So would you have a problem with a man like that? Did you have a problem? Like if your guy was an outgoing guy, did you have a problem with that?
No, because I'm an outgoing person.
Okay, so why, when you said he was talking to other females out in the public, you seemed like you had a problem with it?
No, because he was just him being him. He was being flirtatious. I mean, like I said, if you see my son and see him, the color, my son's eyes change colors wherever mood he in, and that's the same thing it was his father's, and that's just what it was. And he had a way of what's the word? But I can't even talk. He just had a certain way to talk to a woman, and pretty much he know how to get his way. It's like even though we met on a chat line and I saw him on a FaceTime, pretty much, he put the eyes on me, and that's one of the things I fell in love with him about.
At least you're being honest, Miss Small. So you fell in love with this guy looking at you through the computer screen.
No, he just how his eyes was, and then me, I like majority. I'm not saying every light skin or a person got color eyes, but I know what I like. So yeah.
So you like light skin?
Not in that button.
No, I ain't pushing no button. What you talking about?
I know you because you reaching.
No, I'm just trying to fix this thing over here. But so you like light skinned dudes?
Majority. I mean, I don't matter. Like I said, I wouldn't date a white man a white man.
Why wouldn't you date a white man?
Because of my, I mean, even though they've been about 10 or 15 or 20 years or whatever, what happened when I was younger. So I just don't date it.
Okay. But Shots Queen for joining. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But other than that, I don't care. But my preference, I mean, it doesn't matter. I just can't date a white man personally.
You saying from the past that you kind of explained to us on another show, right?
Yeah.
Huh, Miss Marla?
What you say, Creek?
You saying that you'd rather not date a white man because of what you explained to us that happened in the past on a past show, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can understand that. But
I mean, I forgive. I would talk to a white person, if he was my boss or anything, but just in a relationship wise, no.
What's up, brother-in-law? Good to see you.
Haven't seen you, brother-in-law. Were you playing hooky? No, I'm just playing.
I gotta catch up. I gotta catch up with brother-in-law. So here's my thing. I understand the way why you feel that way, but on the same note, you can't hold that. Here's what I would suggest. Honestly, you need to have a talk with someone. Sometimes, maybe in counseling or therapy, in reference to that. But I can actually understand. I'm not trying to fool you. Like what you like, but I'm just saying I'm a people's person. Whatever. You can't hold that against every white guy. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I mean, I've been constantly about it, but I just don't. I mean, I don't see no interest. I mean, I just don't see no interest. But I get what you're saying. Light skin men is not always sneaky neither. And I don't always don't keep on getting cheated on neither or lied to. So thank you. Goodbye.
Bruh.
Shut up, Craig.
F. Harris said, light-skinned men always been sneaky. So, Miss Marley, you keep getting cheated or lied to. Keep your head up, my G.
No, sir. I just said I mean, it is true, but that was only that one particular baby daddy. But my other relationship, I never had that problem. So thank you.
Okay, but you said that one particular baby father.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's the only person who had pretty much cheated on me, and he did amongst other things that nobody needs to know on air. But that's one of the situations.
Okay. Your Royal Highness said he has a soothsayer spirit, but it wasn't him. I'm sorry, it wasn't him. You fell in love with a demon.
I believe that. Even though it's funny, his birthday is coming up too. So
hey, Cree.
Hello, how you doing?
That's my son. Sorry.
Okay. Tell little man I say hello.
He hear you.
Hi, Cree.
Hey, buddy, how are you? He must hear you on the show a lot.
Yeah, he does. And he always want to say hi to you. I'm like, dude, shut up and go to sleep.
It's
cool. It's the weekend.
All right. So Miss Christina said, why not no dark-skinned brothers?
No comment. She know I don't mess with her. No comment. Carry on.
All right. Well, why don't you, since you don't want to answer it with her, answer it with everybody else, please.
That's not my preference. I just don't like dark-skinned brothers, and a lot of more reasons, but that's not for the show. Thank you.
So they gotta be like in between, like.
No, I mean, I know what I like. I mean, I like more chestnut. He's pretty much dark skin or dark chocolate, but
chocolate. All right, so Roy said black pepper, and brother-in-law said black men don't cheat.
Exactly. Well, that's a damn lie. But brother-in-law, please don't bring the inner unique, aka the evil twin of Marla. I'm trying to be good tonight.
I'm going to read brother-in-law's comment again. He said black men don't cheat.
Amen.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
So Michael Mass said, I don't think completion. I'm sorry.
You mean completion?
When it comes to being sneaky, I'm just saying.
Exactly. F. Harris.
And F. Harris said, we all is, Miss Marla. I mean, you might as well spill the beans. You was always one that kept it real on the show.
Yes, I do. I try not to. Because some people would just take my information and run with it. So.
Now, let me ask you this. Well, let me tell you this. Royal Highness, your Royal Highness said, I don't like light-skinned men. I love dark-skinned men.
That's your preference.
Amen.
That's your preference.
Right. So, okay. Well, Ms. Marla, I mean, you seem like, you got to let your men marinate so they slow cook to be a certain color or whatever.
No,
I mean,
I mean it don't matter what color you were. It just I just don't date white men, and I know what I like, but majority of my relationship been light skinned people. So I'm just saying.
okay. Well, you just keep being racist. No, I'm messing with
I'm
you.
not being racist. Craig,
Oh,
don't do that. You know, some people's already racist on this show, but carry
you
on.
just keep on going on with the colorism. Um,
I'm not being colorist. I'm just saying I know what I like.
uh, your Royal Highness said, it's her preference, and it's nothing wrong with that, Miss Marla. It really ain't.
I know.
Um, I know a lot of. Be quiet. Okay. F. Harris also said, "What complexion are you, Miss Marla?
I'm skinny.
You
I'll
what?
be on the show before Air First go to the previous show. I said I'm brown skin, and I said you can ask Miss Christina, or you can look at the previous shows.
Brother-in-law said crispy F. Harris. So look, here's my thing, Miss Marla. You dark skinned. I mean, I hate to tell you, but you dark skinned. Huh? What is that? The Transformers? Huh? We're gonna have to get her. We're gonna have to get her some better internet out here in these streets. So anyway, again, this show is about my mate makes me mentally and physically sick. But if you light skin, you're all good with Miss Marla. All right. Brother-in-law said that's
Not always. Not always.
So here, yes, a partner can indirectly make you sick in a relationship by causing significant stress and emotional distress through negative behaviors like abuse, constant conflict, or manipulation, which can lead to physical symptoms like headaches, stomach issues, elevated blood pressure, and even weakened immune systems. In the weakened immune system, uh, uh, pressure. I'm sorry. It makes you function. You get sick due to high cortisol levels. And key points to that is, I'm gonna ask you, Miss Marla, have you ever experienced any of these symptoms when you were in that toxic or relationship?
No.
So you never felt like you were stressed?
I mean, I was stressed enough, and that's why I got gray hair early than average or average.
Okay. Um, you never felt like sick, like a weakened immune system, where so you were actually getting sick and not sleeping, because if you don't sleep, your immune system will get weak and you will get sick. But a lot of times when you're in relationships like that, you don't sleep properly because you're so irritated about what's happening in your environment with that relationship. Have you, so you said you went through this, but you didn't experience any of those problems?
I mean, I got stressed, and I get my brains, and like I said, it was this domestic violence in that situation and stuff. So, I feel, I wish he would help out raising our kid, but hey, I was pretty much out. I was, not. I was just basically taking care of him by myself, even though he was there. But
You was
it's
taking
not about
care of yourself, the guy or your kid?
What'd you say?
Who were you said you were taking care of him mostly by yourself? Were you talking about the guy or your kid?
I was taking care of him. I was taking care of our kid.
Okay, so when you first met him, what made you think that he will be a stand-up guy and help you take care of things? Did you see what gave you any inclination of that?
Well, I mean, that's not his first kid neither, but that's his second kid. And I thought, you know, if he didn't do right by his first baby mama, I thought he would change. But I see the red flag. I saw the red flags, but I had ignored it.
Okay. I mean, and you know what? Can't even get down hard on you about that because you did say that that was your first real relationship, right?
Not my first real relationship, but that was kind of the second or third relationship, the longest I ever had.
Yeah, you should have caught that, then, Miss Marl. I'm sorry. That was
Yeah, I did. I mean,
red
I
flags,
did,
all
but
that.
I mean, if I really tell you the whole details, Creek, and why I stayed it that long, 11 and a half years, you
Right.
know, you would have like Marla, you know, and it was funny. Like I said, I didn't have no family out loud, you know, that I'm older and I'm
Okay.
learn for the best. You know, I know what signs to look for and what signs I don't.
Oh,
So, but like I said, if I really tell you the whole story, me one on one, you would like, okay, well, you should have left a long time ago. But you know, even though his family was saying it, you know, it's like me and his auntie is very close to this day. Even when I was in a relationship with him, me and her was very close. And, you know, it was like when he passed, you know, it's like when she had called me, when she had told me he had passed, I couldn't even cry, you know. And it was hard enough to tell my son because it's like, for example, you know, sometimes, you know, he would mention them or whatever. But like I was explaining to my son teachers, you know, I don't know because he have a little bit learning disability or whatever. I don't know he really, you know, absorb that information. Do he really understand he's no longer on this earth?
okay. Well, again, sorry to hear that for sure. We're gonna go to the comments real quick. F. Harris said, not trying to be funny, but is it true that people don't like their own skin complexion? I'm gonna ask you that personally, Miss Marla, and maybe he was trying to ask you that as well. Do you not like your own complexion?
I like my complexion.
Why?
I
But I
just
want
do.
to show Laura stuff for my friend.
I just do, Creek. Carry on.
Okay.
I think I'm very beautiful and very, even though sometimes I don't pronounce my words right because, like, it pretty much half of the people in St. Louis talk like me
Okay.
or just talk country in general.
It's cool. Beautiful. Beautiful is cool.
Leave it alone, Creek. I love you too, Creek.
Bruh.
All right. So now you said you like your complexion. Look, our creator, God, his name is Jehovah, but he is our God, created everyone beautiful. It's no when people talk about hair, all hair is beautiful. All complexion is beautiful. So, but I understand per the things that you told us before in the past, the reason why you feel that way about certain shades of people, but you kind of, like I said, I mean, you might meet one and he might turn your life around. Y'all be
I believe,
Ebony and Ivory.
I believe that, but I'm good.
Okay. I mean,
I don't mind talking to an white person, but getting a relationship wise, no, thank you.
okay.
And I'm already currently in a relationship anyway, so.
Okay. Well, congratulations with that. And we definitely are hoping that you guys shoot for the stars with that relationship. Now, also, Miss Marissa says some people need to read this book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nebra Glover Tawad or Tawab. Thank you so much for the reference or pointing us to a good read. It sounds like it's a good read, Miss Marissa. Thank you for that. Also, Miss Marissa said, I did read this book all the times. And Your Royal Highness said, I've been through all of that, Crete, and then some with my children's father. 18 years later, thank God I'm free from him. I'm free from him too, Your Royal Highness, because everybody deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves to be happy. So if that person that's in your life does not make you happy, then you have to make you happy. Actually, before he makes you happy, you need to make yourself happy anyway, right? But if somebody is in your space, in your life and everything, and they're making you unhappy, you have a decision to make. Because again, like this said, you talking about depression, weakened immune systems. There's a lot of things that can happen to you dealing with the wrong people. So we have to think about that. And if you are happy in your skin, Miss Marla, and wherever you are, remain to be happy. Us today, we can't count on other people to make us happy. We have to be happy first.
Right.
So F. Harris also said, man, where my dog Shimmy at? To turn this up. Well, not sure where Shimmy at the moment, but he may pop on. Shout out to Nate from Upstate, said happy Friday. Good to hear from you, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Good to hear from you. F. Harris also said, serious question, Miss Marla. I got a question. Was your father in your life?
Majority of the he was he bless his soul, he's no longer here. I wish he was here. He passed when I was 17 going on 18 years old, but anywho, he kind of was, but I didn't have basically a father figure because I was taken away from my mother and my father when I was 10 years old.
We're definitely sorry to hear that, Miss Marla. But we are happy that you're here and that you could talk about these things. And also, we also happy that that you went from 17 to 18. You were 17 going on to 18. Because people tell us that I could have swore 18 was after 17, but we're glad that you were 17 and you went to 21.
Right.
Y'all you said right.
No, I was thinking something else. Hi, sweet Mama Dream. Thank God.
Hey, do you is it me? Or when people they say like I'm 17 going on 18, I'll be like, damn, I hope you don't do 17 or 20.
I mean, I was 17 going on 18. Sorry.
Okay. Huh? Okay.
I was 17 going on 18, Creed.
Okay.
Shut up, Creed.
That's beautiful. Anyway.
What? You don't mess with me until I pass on. I'll make sure you come to my room.
Okay. FUMR.
Leave me alone. You know what? Where is Tyler Perry? Because you laugh at his butt, but you can't laugh at me. But okay. Carry on, Creed.
Okay, what's up, cuz? How you doing?
Thank you, Lord.
It's good to see you, cuz. Our topic tonight is my mate makes me mentally and physically sick. Have you ever been in a relationship like that? Ooh, you ain't even let me get it out. My cuz was like, yep. Okay. Can you give us a little juice on one?
Marriage.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at what point in your marriage did you start feeling that way? In like year one to, what year? How many years were y'all married before you started feeling that way?
It was before marriage.
Dang. But you just went on and still. Let me ask you this though. Did you feel as though, because we were all, younger and less mature. I can tell you a lot of things that I did what I thought that was going to work. But I'm just saying, did you think once you got married, you said, all right, he's going to mature, things going to get better? Did you ever think that way?
I thought about that, and I still say it to this day. I think I told y'all I had a recent encounter with him,
Yes, I
and he
remember.
the same evil spirit.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. I even had to ask his mother. She was like, she don't know. So she don't know. Hell, I don't know.
Okay.
It shouldn't be no animosity. We've been divorced 15 years. We would have been married 29 this year. But some people, you know, for me, I was hoping he would grow out of it in his 20s. Then we got into the 30s, it's still the same way. And now in the 50s, it's maybe worse now. I don't know how it can get worse, but like I said, I don't have nothing against him. What I felt for him for a lot of years that caused a lot of my mental anguish and torment, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time for anybody's shenanigans, old or new.
You know what? I feel you on that, cuz. Now, let me ask you, when you saw him, and for him to be that same, that's kind of an evil spirit, if you ask me, right? When you saw him, you know how some people look 5 or 10 years older than what they are? Could you see it messing with him? Like, did he look older?
Absolutely.
Okay, see, that's a part of that. That's a part of that.
It's
That's why.
also not taking care of yourself, not having, and people can say, I think not having a woman in his life to really care, who would have supported and stood by him through whatever. He had women after me, had a long time girl, but treated her the same way, but she was much younger than we were. But he's, you know, from the connection between his mom and I, she and I are still good. She's still my mother-in-law. I divorced her son. But you know, I visit with her, we go to church, we do, you know, go out to lunch and we can have conversations. I can't have one conversation with him about our family situation because he's just in his own way. And I'm gonna say that now he's going through some issues. He don't have our son, he don't have a woman. And so it's just like his demise is coming towards him now.
Now, okay, so where do you think that came from? I'm sure it was his father in his life.
No, he had a grandfather. His father came into his life like maybe, I want to say maybe a year before we got married. We didn't get married till my son was like 3. So maybe, yeah, I tried to get them together and they finally built a relationship. So they're still going good. And I said sometimes he treat him better than his mother, who was there all his life.
He treats his father
I
better.
think so. He go visit the father, more than the mother. And, you know, they talk and communicate. It's just, I know they're local, but, you know, you should take some time to carve out for your mother, who did everything to make sure you had everything as a only child. And that's her only child, period. Now his father has other children, but she's very involved, very sweet woman. She can't place where it comes from. So, and he won't get counseling. We went to one counseling, pre-counseling marriage session that didn't end well. So he wasn't somebody that was going to go to counseling or anything. So to understand, even on an individual level, what's actually going on with him.
Man, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've experienced situations like that through people that I've seen over time. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's a shame, but you know, I can't say enough even about mothers. I know people right now who are awesome mothers and their kids don't even recognize it.
Absolutely.
It's a crying freaking shame. So I hope all you guys out there that don't treat your mother right, fix yourself. Go get some therapy, some counseling, and understand why you need to be in your mother's corner, especially if she wasn't abusive to you or and she protected you and all that stuff. Make sure that you go get yourself fixed so you can make adjustments in reference to communicating with your mother for real. So shouts out to Pokey Sue. Pokey Sue said, don't forget, let's start supporting our hosts. We need some tasty cakes, and that's real. You know, I'm trying to lose a little bit more weight because I'm back racing, but I just got some bad news today, cuz I gotta have a surgery. Crazy, but I'm still racing ball. But anyway,
did you leave me something in your insurance policy? You will not learn. Don't let that be the death of you. Something you like, I get that.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I'm taking it easy because Nate from upstate said no, and then hold on. XL in the building. What's going on, XL?
What's happening?
Chilling. Now, Miss Marissa said you're welcome. Crete. F. Harris said at Miss Marissa. Okay, I understand now because I ain't no way in heck my daughters taking care of no grown man. And then also your Royal Highness said he was bipolar, Crete, and I was young. I didn't know until years later. You know what's crazy about those situations? There's a lot of relationships that had gotten cut or you know that just didn't work out because of us not knowing, you know, about the other person's mental status, right? And you know, a lot of times we are with these people and they haven't been diagnosed yet or whatever. But it's cool, you know. But you know, these people are still people, and you still can show them love or whatever. You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with that because there's a lot more people being diagnosed these days, and you know. So I mean, and plus, y'all can't be out here, you know, driving these cars and out here throwing middle fingers and everything, and these people snap off. You know what I mean? So you just gotta watch out these days. So what's been going on, XL?
Oh, you already know. Just trying my best to stay sane.
Right. Okay. Now,
I mean, I saw that side out too, sweetheart, when I said trying to stay sane. I caught that.
so here's the topic tonight, XL. My mate makes me mentally and physically sick. Have you ever been in a situation like that before?
Not really. Not
Okay.
really. Like I pick and choose. I think I pick and choose the woman I get in relationships with kind of wisely to a point where like if I look at the door, if I can't sit around you for more than an hour and not be like, look, I gotta go home or I need to go somewhere, then I don't need to be with you. So the mentally drained, nah. Physically, nah. Not nobody I've been in a relationship with.
Okay. Well, that's good because it could easily happen these days, and but it happens to the best of us a lot of times, you know. And like you said, you have your choice is to probably get couples counseling or couples therapy, and if that doesn't work, then you got to go. You know what I mean? Now I missed a lot of these comments, and my apologies, guys. Dang. So leave me alone, bro. Thank you. Oh, she said that'll speak next time. Okay. Shouts out to AV in the building. AV said she is very good cook as well. I'm not sure who AV was talking about, but AV Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Miss Marlon talk to you guys later. Okay. So shouts out to Tiff Trey in the building. Thank you so much, Tiff Trey, for joining us. She said, I was saying it will be all right. I just said surgery today, home recovery. Thank you so much for the encouragement, Tiff Trey. And we are glad to hear that your surgery went well and that you're recovering.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get on to this next part here, right? Now we were talking about how like at some point where your partner could indirectly make you sick in a relationship by causing significant stress and emotional distress through the negative behaviors like abuse, constant conflict, or manipulation, right? Which can lead to physical symptoms, headaches, stomach issues, and elevated blood pressures, and much more. So, what about stress hormones, right? When experiencing chronic stress from a toxic relationship, your body produces more cortisol, which can negatively affect your physical health over time, right? Now, I can personally say I experienced that at a time. I can personally say that, and it threw me way off, and I had to find a way. Some people don't pay attention to anything; they just keep dealing with it or whatever. But I like to take myself outside of that and fix me, and then make decisions after that because you can't keep going through that. You know what I'm saying? So have you felt that, cuz that you have like your stress hormones were being attacked
Always.
even now?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Um that's something. Are you doing anything it's really none of my business. It's none of our business. But
No.
okay. All right. All right, cuz.
No, I had a lot of. I guess I revert back to marriage because that was my longest relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I gained 180 plus pounds being married.
Mm-hmm.
So the stress of just the marriage, the anger, the arguments, the aggression. Yeah. And once I separated, because it took a while divorce, my weight went all the way down.
So what made it go up? Was it like the point of like like the emotional eating and stuff like that?
I mean, eating and stress eating. I had a heart monitor on by the time I was 27 from the stress. I had to
Wow.
get a heart monitor for a while. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff, shenanigans going on that lead to, other things you know, um, over time,
Mm-hmm.
especially with women and hormonal and reproductive stuff go on. So, yeah.
And then you lost weight because of that. Was that like the stress?
Oh, the stress was lifted once I separated. I ain't had to sleep with one eye open.
It's
So,
a
your rest and your stress, you stressing about somebody, if they're gonna go off or they're gonna kill you, or your child. Majority, safety of my child, because that person can be that type of spastic energy, that you would have that fear.
man, it's so amazing to know what dealing with the wrong person can do. It is crazy. So that's why we always talk about it. Choose wisely, people. Choose wisely.
And
Seriously.
people say choose wisely, but people put up a lot of facade. They
Mm,
could, be rainbow and roses and then be your worst nightmare. So choosing wisely, people say that, but you might thought you have chosen wisely, but people do change once you get in a relationship. Even going from boyfriend to fiance to wife, it changes. The stages changes definitely.
right. And you're right about that, because a lot of people, at first they'll be like, yeah, I choose wisely, but they be with the worst person in the world, because later on it starts to come to light that this person is really nuts. Miss Christina said, cortisol is the stress hormone, right?
Mhm.
And then F. Harris said, hey, don't forget about the $10 shakedown and $50 from Sweet Mama G XL. And Shimmy Marvin Sapp voice.
So they sending me $50. Is that what it is?
Well, what happened?
That's what I was wondering.
The $10 come from the other day when I was talking about a lot of these artists are going to start to have to invest in themselves because time is being invested in this, money is being invested. So instead of y'all just spending y'all songs, we about to have y'all invest in y'all even with little $10. You know what I'm saying? So with donating, you know what I mean? Miss Christina said, "Where your son Willie Bars at, Creek?" I'm not sure right now, but he's supposed to be racing tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Pokey Sue said, "Dealing with the wrong person is detrimental to your health." It definitely is, because sometimes it could take you out of here, or that person can take you out of here, whoever it is. Somebody, I heard earlier, yeah, it was actually a school. I don't know if you heard about that down here, cuz a school teacher was killed by
A girlfriend.
Yeah, you heard? That's crazy. And that was on the side that you be on when you come down here.
Where's greater?
Yep. So that's crazy. That was over that side.
It's a lot, because if you stay in a bad relationship and you have those health conditions for a long time, it affects you long term. I have different long term medical conditions that started from the 20s and parachuting down to the 50s. Deteriorate certain things and creates those long term health conditions that sometimes are not reversible or hard to get reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, the wild thing when we were speaking about that situation, that was unfortunately that was a woman on woman thing, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What makes it's sad sometimes, like when a lot of times women feel as though, hey, I've been hurt by this dude so much, I'm going on the other side.
But sometimes they just straight go to the other side. It ain't even about no man hurting them. People always want to use that as a precursor to say about people and their sexuality. It ain't that. They do what they want to do now. It's not because of no man. It's what people want to do. Mm-hmm. And just like if they think a male is gay, they think they were sexually assaulted as a child or whatever. That don't always be the case. People do what they want to do because they want to do it.
Yeah, and sometimes when they make that move like that, sometimes those relationships like that end up being really bad, because you're talking about, sometimes I ain't gonna go there tonight.
So I'm not gonna say about that, because people are people, no matter what gender, whatever you identify yourself as. Just mm-hmm. because you go with a woman and you same sex don't make it no better. Just because I go with the opposite sex, it doesn't make any better. People are people. People say, "Oh, women know what I like," and blah blah blah, and that's why they can manipulate a lot harder.
Yes, and a lot of times, especially if it's a stud type, I don't even like dealing with studs. I told y'all when with like if they would come to my store or whatever, I don't even like it'd be too much going on, and I ain't dealing with it. But hold on one second, I'm just trying to fix something. So anyway, Pokey Sue says, "Sweet Mama G, you are correct, but it's supposed to change for the good. Most times it don't."
Absolutely not. It don't. Like I said, I saw him recently, and he just as evil he was married. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I pulled off my car. I ain't got time for that. I got so much other crap going on, not crap, stuff going on in life. Life be life, and I don't have time to still be digging no ignorant crap, because that's ignorant at damn near 60. You still acting like a daggone fool. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't. And like I told her, I can have a conversation with him, on a different level. And, I've upped my game. And like I told her, I did a lot of things I wasn't ready for in a marriage. I didn't know how to have financial equity or any of that because I wasn't taught that. So when you're not taught that and you go into a marriage, you have those difficulties. And hindsight is 2020. It did a lot of damage, and I can now admit years later, some stuff was my fault because I didn't know how to manage financially or manage to be a wife or what I'm supposed to do. You know, my mom and dad have a different dynamic of a relationship. So it's not the same dynamic as me and my ex-husband. So I saw one way, but the personality of my ex-husband and my father are different. So it didn't match. So I didn't have any other people to judge by. Yeah, my other grandparents was married, and our grandmother husband been deceased since my mom was 12. So I saw, but I'm not in home. I'm not every day. So I can admit, and I told her. Matter of fact, we just had this conversation maybe about 2 or 3 days ago when I called her. I can admit I didn't know, and a part of his frustration could have been he thought one thing I was going to be a certain way because I came from a married household and he came from a single family household.
Mhm.
So. And I could admit it years later. That's why I said I don't have no qualms with that man. That's been so long. I ain't been with that man since 2007. Child, please. I don't have time, but we can't even have conversations about family situations. And he's in poor health, and I'm like, okay, I work I work in the I work in the health field. I can try to tell you some things that you can route and the things you need to do. I've experienced with either people or clients. I can have that conversation with him. I treat him just like client or somebody's just getting information. But child, I'm gonna let him be great. Go on to the pearly gates if you want. I'm gonna get a check.
Now, F. Harris said, like my daddy used to say, young fools just turn into old fools. And that's true as hell. Especially, if that person not gonna make a change. Now, another thing that you touched on, cuz, was basically the psychological impact that those type of relationships have or could do to a person. Now, emotional distress from a troubled relationship can manifest as anxiety, depression, and difficulty. You having difficulty sleeping, further impacting your overall well-being, right? I've seen people go through situations like that, and I've seen what it has done to them. Like, you really, I mean, the thing is, if you are a man that is not being comfortable with yourself by yourself, and you have to have a mate, man, oh man.
Let me say this too, because I counsel a lot of men.
Mhm.
A lot of men know things they want to work on, and I'm not saying you should live a life of a monk. But we talk about baggage that you bring into relationships. Be honest. It's you know, you don't have to be in a relationship if you want to date folk or whatever, however you want to set your situation up. But a lot of people have these situations where they have a lot of things they know they need to work on, or they want to work on, or actually trying to work on, and then they pull somebody else into their stuff. You're gonna call it stuff,
Mhm.
and it does become more difficult. And you know, um, a lot of guilt, shame, anger, disappointment. A lot of things can go on because they haven't totally did what they want to do or should be doing. So they jump somebody else in their situation. And there's nothing wrong with say, hey, Cheryl, I'm trying to work on me. I still would like to, you know, have you such a situation, friendship, benefit, whatever you want to call it, because I know I can't give you 100% of what you probably look for. Because as soon as you get a relationship, they start to look for these things that they want you to do. And if you don't think women gonna want it, you lying to yourself as a man. Oh no, I ain't like that. I ain't gonna expect that. Yeah, they are. They just trying to capture you and think it's still gonna roll with the punches. Yeah.
Right. I agree. And Pokey Sue said yes and yes. I still go through these things, and I've been out of it since 2011. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's relationships out here that can cause other folks to have PTSD.
You got that right.
All kinds of stuff. So you really have to pay attention to who you're dealing with.
And a lot of people feel they always got to be with somebody. Sit your ass down and get your stuff together. I've done so much being single because I didn't have to focus on somebody else's needs, wants, their mental health. Get your stuff together. If you want to play and get your play partner, that's fine too. Some people just need to sit down somewhere and achieve the goals that you want to before you out here.
Yeah, F. Harris said, I low-key feel sorry you have to have for Sweet Mama G ex-husband. I've read that right, because so don't try to say
I don't know. I got allergy eyes, so that's why my eyes look little.
And Pokey Sue said, I have CPTSD. All right. And if you can spell that out for us, Pokey Sue, definitely would help. And shout out to Kanice Green. Shout out to Scooter and Elisa on TikTok. Thank you guys for coming through and visiting. Please feel free to come through and mention anything you want on the show. I mean, you know, some people can do a number. Man or woman can do a number on either one of them, right? Now,
and I think a lot of times that too, when you're going through a lot of stuff, you don't want to deal with nobody for a while, if ever, in that capacity. You might deal with people not in that same level capacity. You know, like, no, I ain't get married no more. I don't want to have that type of bondage with somebody. You see what I'm saying? Because of your traumatic experience.
Right. Bondage, or also you just don't want I ain't gonna go there tonight either. It's just a lot it's a lot of responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And some people want as less responsibility as possible these days. Pokey Sue said complex post-traumatic stress disorder is that PTSD. Also, F. Harris said, my bad, I've been sipping. I meant to say I low-key feel sorry for Sweet Mama G ex-husband.
Why come? And I'm off of work, so I can use my other dialect. Why come?
So yeah, let us know, F. Harris, why
I feel low-key sorry for him too, as I look, because the growth hasn't been there. And you know, if you think about being with somebody from you 17 and you know them now, I'll be 52. That's a long time to know somebody, and you have not seen, and you feel sorry. You don't see the levels of maturity or change for the better to better them, to be at peace with themselves. Let me say that. Let me get back on my professional mode. He does not have peace for himself. That's why he's in these situations. Like, he has a horrible relationship with our son. Those situations are what you created. But you didn't want to try to do better to that man, because my son is a man in age. I don't know about action. Grown. And now, you know, some people may take longer to warm their hearts or whatever, or break down, but you created situations for yourself.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Shouts out to Be Fresh also. Thank you so much for the likes on TikTok. Thank you. Now, you know, with that being said, you know, and this is I'm talking about what you said and F. Harris said, right? Now, that man could be suffering, right? He could literally be suffering. Do you think that there's that he's going through anything with his mental health at all, or no?
He's been crazy since I met him, but the anger management situation didn't stop with me. So there's something fueling why that needs to be. And like I said, I can see the age on him. I looks fabulous for my age.
Mhm.
Because I ain't dealing with no jokers with no foolishness.
Right.
He looked like he's almost 60.
Wow.
He gained back. Like he was heavy when I met him. He's about 250, but he's tall. When I met him back in my old backslide Odell days. So we gonna bring it all the way back. And I was 17.
Mhm.
And he slimmed out closer to when we were splitting up because he was out here dating. He had
Mhm.
situationships. And then a little bit after we separated, because I've seen pictures through, the family foolishness. I'm like, okay, I don't care. He gained weight. Now he is a real, what y'all call silverback.
Right.
But it's affecting his heart, his thyroid, his diabetes, like chronically. When I saw him, I said, good God. And then I saw all his gray. Not that we don't have the gray, but he
Mhm.
looks, the eyes, the puffiness, those something thyroid. You can see the health issues on him.
Okay.
And like I told his mother, I can have a conversation. I work in healthcare. The procedure he need to have, somebody in the family had it. And I could tell him it's not as invasive because he's thinking the worst. Anytime you hear you need something done, you always think the worst. But I'm like, the worst is gonna happen if you don't get it done. Valves in your heart being clogged from cholesterol, from years of bad habits. So, but I know somebody's had it since '07 and they still alive and they old. But if you stubborn and you don't want to take care of yourself as a man, then that's on you. Like I said, I can have a conversation with him. I ain't got nothing going on. Nothing like, oh my God. No, no. I can have a conversation with him as a professional, as a human. It ain't got nothing to do. Oh, I don't like him. I ain't got time to not like people. I got so much other stuff going on. But I don't mind helping people. That's just the heart that I have. I still, I don't like you. I might still help, even if in maybe a work site, I may not like somebody, but I'm still going to do what I'm due diligence. And I
Okay.
ain't going to be nice, get you no gift, but I'm still going to give information because that's the humanistic part of me.
For me, because I mean, one thing you were talking about was health, right? I personally definitely want to stay as healthy as I can possibly be, right? And that's why I pedal that bike. That's why I ride that bike, or just keeping it going. Like I don't want to be looking like I'm 65, 75. You know what I mean? And that's an important thing. And I hate that you saw him and he looked in that condition.
Well, that's what you make it. Um, you have to decide how you going to live your life. I don't live my life trying to be evil to people or I just went to the doctor's day for a follow. I'm going to take my appointment. I got my little teeth done. Things you do. I'm let my hair go gray, salt and pepper. Mine went straight white. It ain't got no gray in it. But just different things you want to do for yourself. Like we talk about that little vibrating plate to work out on. You got to do things for yourself. And he's in a dormant position of sitting down and
Right.
driving, and
Okay.
he's not fit. And you
Right.
still eating like you 25, big hoagie subs and all that stuff. That you 54, Booker. You 54, Booker. He older than we are. You 54, Booker.
Right. Well,
And I'm like,
shout out
that's
to
a
my
lot.
big sister just pulling up. Shout out, hello, big sis. She said hello,
Hey, cousin.
AXL.
What's happening?
Yeah. So
That's
good to see
that,
you,
man.
sis. And she said hello, Pokey Sue. Also, hold up, I gotta check. I gotta catch up on F Harris here. F Harris said because he was playing the field when he was younger, treating his wife bad. Now the older, and what it sounds like to me, you don't haven't progressed none in his life. She did. He looks older than what he should look older. Now, and this is me trying to
That's
make
what he is.
make out some of what F Harris is, but I definitely get what he's saying. And then also he said what he is. He said out of shape, and I can bet all the money in my pocket the woman he used to do her wrong with won't give him the time of day.
Hell no, he look horrible.
And see that sometimes that's the payback on guys like that. You know what I mean?
And
I
like me, I'm cool. Like I said, he my baby daddy, and I married him for a long time. But I still will help people and give you information. But you gotta be open. Like, what is the? I asked her, "What's the grudge against me all these years later?" Because I'm fine. No, not that, but that I moved on. That I don't even live in the original state that we're from. I moved on. Like I'm not a stagnant type person. You know, when I moved out of Baltimore, everybody was having a fit. I'm like, why? I never wanted to stay in Baltimore. I wanted to go to Texas Southern University school, you know, for medicine. I didn't want to stay in Baltimore, but my parents couldn't afford for me to go away. I never wanted to stay in Baltimore. Never. Never.
Now here's the thing, cuz Big Sis
Never.
said, Big Sis said,
Never.
why y'all keep talking about hold up. She said, how come y'all keep talking about folks in their 60s? She said, watch it, suckers. No, cuz she's saying that you say he's 54, right, cuz?
He'll be 50. Yeah, we 4 days apart. Both of us are cancer. He'll be 54, but he looked like he in his 60s.
Dang. Yeah. So and F her said the man sounds miserable or at a standstill in life. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he could be miserable or he could be suffering from something. You know, I know
Oh, he's suffering from something. He's miserable. He doesn't like when I took her to visit or whatever, and then I picked her up. Like he couldn't even speak. I'm like, your mama got man. When I say the opposite, his mother, a sweet lady from Baltimore. She lived in the South. Very sweet lady. Him, child, please. I wouldn't even know they was related. As far as demeanor, absolutely not. He's probably the most ignorant one in his family. Because you know, I still know the cousin they grew up with the little cousins grew up with my son. They were a little bit older, so they grew up with my son. He's ignorant. He's ignorant, even to some family members. He just in his own silo and be great, you know. But now you're trying to have all this pull my son. My son is not having it. He is not having it.
And well, you know, that's how it is sometimes, cuz, and you know, we got to make the best of our lives and everything. And
okay, funny. She said, I need to know what the 60s look like. Okay, this is 52. See all this? No. He had bags on his eyes. He's gray. Not that gray don't look good on man. You can just tell it's something from somebody you did the shakedown since you were 17. You know what people look like. Everything is cooled down.
Yeah,
I mean, since I was 17.
Yeah, the same shit that's in the 70s. Jeez.
No, not that long. Nah, I wasn't that freaking that early. But like, you know, since 17, you know, I look like this, and he just looked like he don't even like what the man called silver foxes. He ain't no silver fox. That's a gray wolf or grizzly bear or whatever.
Dang.
He ain't no look. Like if I be out there, I'm like, nah, I'm good. But you can see the illness in his face. He's really light complexion. I'm a different kind of light complexion. I got a little caramel. He's a little red. You can see it in his face. He has a not a big, not as much facial hair as XL, but you know, a little bit. Has flatter, all that's gray. He's been bald since he was in his 20s, but just that pulled down look. But it comes from a lot of heart stuff. Heart problems will bring you and drain you down. Then he's on like a weird shift for work where you do split shift and come back, sleep, come back. That's not good for you. We got to split your time and try to rest, and you in bad health. That's not a good look.
Yeah, I definitely could never do none of them 3 o'clock in the morning and all that.
Yeah, that's what he do. Then he do 4 hours, come back later and do the other 4 hours. That's crazy. He been truck driving for a long time, so that's him. Whatever.
Do something like that. I'm gonna tell him right at the interview I'm fired. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't waking up doing all that. There's a lot of other ways to make money. I ain't doing that. But
it's a lot of men that are like, as I meet more and more like people I'm working with, a lot of men are the ones with it. not that they haven't had it, but a lot of men have the diabetes like really bad. And I'm not talking about old men. I want to say my clients between 40 and maybe 55, they are having not the light diabetes. I'm talking about the insulin diabetes. And the neuropathy in their feet. They're still trying to wear Nike boots and all that old crap that their feet is jacked up and people don't know it, but because they're still trying to be cute. So it's a lot of them out there still trying to dress up, but their feet is toe up from the floor with the neuropathy and stuff like that. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people walking around with a lot of untreated health conditions. They just don't want to, comply. So they gotta do what they gotta do.
That's the diabetes. Well, I mean, my thing, because like I said, we all go through things in our lives or whatever, and we deal with them at the time, but then we look back now and say, wow, we dealt with that, or we dealt with that person or whatever. But to be honest with you, I never regret really what I went through or whatever. It was just life experiences. And I'm always looking at that way because I don't want to look at anything that I went through in a negative way, or even the people that I went, through them with. I don't want. I don't look at negative.
I think I don't look at it as negative. I just look at my growth. I don't worry about that situation. I look at my growth and where I came from and the situation where I know I'm not going back to. So you have to learn your growth. You have to learn what works for you. And a lot of times you have shortened other experiences with people because you start to see some stuff that you are not going to tolerate at this point in your life, or don't need to. A lot of people that, like, I ain't in no childbearing years, so I ain't looking for that. So I'm not out here like active though. I gotta hurry and have a kid before I'm 40, from whatever. Nah, them years is way over.
But you know what though, cuz? Your brother-in-law said this me in my 60s still DJing.
Lord, where he be getting this stuff from?
I don't know. He crazy. That's all right. When I come up there, I see
So anyway, my Lord.
Yeah, brother-in-law crazy.
I hope you're not looking like none of y'all, because I've been seeing some ones lately that's old. I went to one of our cousins was DJing at a function. I can't think of the name of the club. Some club must be shut down in Baltimore or something. But I guess it was a gathering of them that used to go to this club or whatever. Not Odell's. It wasn't Odell's. This was at like a little I don't want to say rinky dink, but a little small bar lounge thing. And I went to, it was like a day party thing. I ain't going out at night over there, but I went over there daytime, give me some wings. Y'all know how I feel about wings. And I went over there to support him. And then I seen the other guys came in, but I thought they was with this lady party because the lady was having like a little 62 party or something, whatever she was doing. And I was just at the bar waiting for my food and just looking. He was DJing. And then I saw the pictures from I was like, okay, full gray beard. Well, I cannot think of the name of the club. They used to hang out. Must have been something small in Baltimore. So I guess it was like a little mini reunion with this lady party. But I'm like, how old are y'all? Because y'all might be, I mean, not like the salt and peppers, not like Excel salt and pepper. I'm talking about white daddy beard.
Hey.
Now, unless they age early.
The Beijing route. You keep on talking about little gray hairs in my baby.
Yeah,
no, it actually look good mixed.
Join the club, Excel.
No, but it look good mixed. That's a sign of wisdom. Weird and dumb.
Yep. Yeah.
Women want to see it on your face. We don't want to see it on none of your other body parts. Beijing the other parts, but the face is good. The face is good. A lot of men look good with that, and they think I'm like, nah, they don't need that.
Now F. Harris said, "Messed up your own son won't mess with you." 54, and then he said 54, but look 74. And then he also says suffering is a good word. That's why I like listening to this podcast.
I think a lot of men suffer. They just don't have anybody to talk to. They're not going to talk to a family member typically, but a lot of men suffer and they still have the stigma about counseling and stuff like that. A lot of men do suffer in silence. When we yak into our girlfriends all the time. So that's a little different, but men do suffer in silence. I'm not here to bash no men, but a lot of people do suffer in silence. Sometimes they don't know the good of going to counseling or the good of going to support groups or even watching reels or reading and listening to like motivational things or finding out actually who you are. I think a lot of people don't know who they actually are. They just living day to the next day to the next day to the next day, but not finding out what makes them happy. What are some things of interest you might want to do or explore, in your life that might make you feel motivational to, create better spaces with your overall health, and the health is not just your physical, but also your mental health. There's a lot of things of wellness. I mean, I still get this running joke. I started teaching special ed when I was back in 2002. I was a career changer from the business where I did grants management and lost my contract but the agency shut down. So I went to teaching. So I was heavier than I am now. My hair wouldn't grow. I had like one of them short Tony Braxton hairstyles because my hair was not growing because of stress in my marriage. My hair would not grow. So I just kept a short little Tony Braxton cut, whatever. So years later, after I got divorced and I changed my name back to my family last name, my dad's last name or whatever, I saw some of my kids on Facebook, my first students ever that I taught. And they did not. And I said, hi, I'm so-and-so. And they was like, no, you're not. You must be her sister. I actually look younger now than I did when I was teaching at 30 because of the extreme weight, the stress, the cussing, the fighting. I looked really stressed out at all. And I looked at some, teachers that take pictures with their kids. I'm not going to bust none of them pictures out on y'all because y'all say something ignorant. I'm going to cut y'all out Baltimore style. But I looked bad.
Cuz.
No.
And, shout out to Mimi in the building.
Hey, Mimi, we ain't seen you in a while.
Great. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping through. And also, my big sis said, Bird, your brother-in-law has too much time on his hands. Yes, he does.
I wouldn't know how he do them no emoji things. I need some people to do like that.
And F. Her said, oh, yeah, no, I've read that one. But, yeah, because that is about right. I have seen where people sometimes when they were younger, and then that change came, and now they got older and they look younger than when they were younger.
And even with that, I seen like they when they age, they got better looking. Mm-hmm. Have you seen some people like that? Some men, you be like, oh Lord, they was in their 20, had a little strange look. Now they like, okay, Zaddy, okay, you looking good. I see some little gremlins I went to Catholic school with, and I was like, Lord, no. But I said, y'all look all right in y'all 50s. All right now. Bring it through.
Because they found themselves. Now, my big sis said, Bird, by the way, your great niece had her probate on April 13th.
Cousin, tell us the details on that. What did she cross over?
Yes, let us know, big sis, and tell her I'm going to send her something. I got to send Kai something, and I got to send her something. And y'all know I be sending it now. I send it. I get it out there in them streets now. So, yeah, let us know.
She better be my soror. It better not be nobody else.
And, yeah, tell her, brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. Lord, I knew it.
Yeah, let us know when you can, sis, and tell her.
She did. She's a Delta. Tell her. Oh. Anyway, welcome to the Divine Nine. That is not my people's, but welcome to the Divine Nine. Congratulations. She was set free.
Other Delta in the world.
Right. He should have been over being finer.
See, that came late to me. For some reason, y'all getting comments faster than me.
Really?
Yep. For right now.
I don't know. Your iPhone or your Android?
No, it's on the computer.
Oh, okay. Because you be having 50, 11 phones.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this, cuz in your day in life right now, right?
I was like, what?
Now, do you prefer what type of man do you prefer if
Oh,
you
Lord, why y'all asking that every week? I told y'all I'm already in a polygamous relationship. I'm already doing that. I am
okay.
comfortable in that situation right now until further notice.
Mimi said congratulations to her a day before my birthday. And
Oh, never hate. No,
birthday
ma'am.
or belated birthday, I don't even know what the date is, Mimi. Thank you for letting
She
us know.
said her date, if she crossed the 13th, it must have been the 12th. A day for her birthday. Okay, 14. Well, happy birthday, April 14, Mimi, because I had to calculate, girl, it's late.
I don't even know what today's date is.
What's today's date? Lord, let me look at the iPhone. It's after this Saturday now, the 25th. Okay, Lord, I don't even know, child.
So Pokey Sue said that is his talent. I believe we all sit on ours. And Mimi said thank you. Now I was just saying, like, women today, do y'all like to date? Like, what type of man do y'all like to date? Do y'all like to date a successful man or just your average everyday man that's responsible? Not saying that apparently the successful man is responsible as well, but what kind of guy do y'all like to date?
I mean, you saying successful, even if they were blue collar, they may be successful. Who are you? Not you. I'm just saying in the world. Who is somebody to measure somebody's success? The success comes from how they feel that they're doing in their situation. Because they may be successful as a whatever, a store, I don't know, a painter or a master carpenter or master electrician. So that may be success to them.
Right. Mimi said, Crete has CRS. Uh-oh. What's CRS?
Yeah, Lord, what's that? Crete? No, okay.
And then Big Sis said, cuz you are hilarious. And then Pokey Sue said, Mimi, Crete is blowing bubbles. Sometimes I do blow bubbles. You know what? Blowing bubbles these days actually is peaceful.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, I was looking at the bubble gun and the little bubble thing at the grocery store. Yes, that's right. I look crazy if I just sit on my balcony and blow bubbles. They might think I lost it.
Yeah, nah. Hey, look, anytime that I can take and not think about nothing and just, and be like a brain fart moment, it's and then Mimi said the CRSs can't remember S. Not so, hey, I'm bad with that sometimes. But so, and the reason why I asked that in reference to the men, while not all men avoid dating successful women, some might hesitate due to factors like social expectations, insecurity about their own masculinity, or concerns about power dynamics within a relationship, right? Some men, and don't, even though they're successful, don't want to date a successful woman. But then sometimes we do start seeing a lot now where successful men want to date women that are successful and like he is, right? So do you think those type of relationships work, XL?
Hold up, repeat that because the earpiece cut out on me.
Okay, say for instance, like a lot of times we will call these people power couples, right? Power couples. So a successful man with a successful woman, do you think those relationships work?
I mean, it depends on your term, your definition of what successful is. Like a successful couple could be somebody who's they're working in their field and they're good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or you talking about them people that are supposedly CEOs and another CEO was got together. Most of the time, those be the ones that in the worst, because it's like, there's a fight for domination. That's why you look at all them stupid TV shows that come on now, Real Housewives of
Amen.
Alabama and all of that, because it's like The woman, she's like, I work so hard for this, I make this, and the dudes, I work hard for this, I make this, and the man, he still want to have that masculine role of, look, this is, we going to control I'm in control of this relationship, but she could probably make 10, 15,000 more a year than he do, but she's still so accomplished that I ain't gotta listen to you. I make my own money. I do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And it goes left.
So, would you deal with a relationship like that?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to answer that because, like I said off top, it's more. I'm more concerned about compatibility than anything. If I could sit around you and I can talk with you, and we can discuss certain things, I'm good. But I'm never going to be the person that's going to be like, yo, let me fall back and let it's hard for me to answer that because I'm not that kind of person. I could be sitting on $1 billion. If I got a female that has $1 billion, then if we already have an understanding of what we're building or what we're trying to create or accomplish, that's one thing. But if I'm just messing with you because I think you got a nice body and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my trophy wife, no, it's not going to work because it's going to be like, yeah, she look good, but what else does she have? I got money. She got money. Can she cook? No. You know what I'm saying? Is she funny? No. Can I, you know what I mean? It's like, I need more compatibility than anything.
Okay. So here's my thing. For me, that would have been an easy no. Because relationships have to have structure. I ain't going back and forth, with all this, that, and the third. I mean, there's no structure there because most women like that have most success with men who are like a beta style man. He will deal with that stuff, but a masculine man is not going to deal with that, whether she got money or not, unless he's in it for the money, unless he's practicing hypergamy, like a lot of the women be. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I wouldn't even deal with that. Where's like, who wants to be back and forth about money and stuff like that? And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if that's what you feel as though you want to deal with in relationships and stuff like that, I mean, that's you. Me, that's an easy no for me. I can't do it.
I mean, I'm pretty stubborn anyway. Like, I don't care about your money. Like, it take a lot out of me to ask for anything. Like, if I ask somebody for something, I'm at to a point where it's like, yo, I'm 2 steps from robbing the bank.
Right.
I don't like anyway.
Right. Yeah. And I wasn't saying so much of even you asking that, like the lady for money or nothing like that. I was just saying there's kind of no order there. You know what I mean? It's like I don't. Would you have a problem with that, cuz?
With what?
Like, okay, would you be that woman that will battle this dude that you with, or are you gonna let him be the man that you are dealing with him for?
I ain't battling with nobody.
Okay, so you gonna let him do what he needs to do as a man?
As long as it's not damaging to me, yes. Shut up, XL. I ain't for no foolishness with you today.
What you talking about, Willis?
So, okay, so that's my thing, because I was talking. Oh, I know who I was talking to. How a lot of women now are making more money than men.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, because you guys are given more opportunity now.
Ain't no giving no opportunity. I'm not gonna keep justifying that. I worked my hind parts off going to school, and I worked multiple jobs. So it ain't about me working my hind parts. You have a lot of men. And I'm gonna tell you, one of my girlfriends has him say he not gonna work extra. They in a serious financial situation to the point where she ain't have no gas money. And he bluntly said, "I'm not working no extra hours or no extra jobs to get us out in the hole. You figure it out."
God damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And I'm like, y'all been together 30, maybe 8 years,
Well,
maybe this year.
What I'll say on that part is, Not the point with the dude and his lady, and he not trying to help nothing out. That's, in my opinion, that's goofy. But when it comes down to women making more money, I won't necessarily say it's more opportunity, but I think it's a thing where, especially in the 35 and older range, most of the dudes, they grew up and they just took what jobs they was able to get. It moved into a point where most men was doing more physical jobs. You had the warehouse workers, the forklift operators, still, working down the port and all that type of stuff. So when you got those guys and they end up getting the job, they like, well, yeah, I'm making $27, $28 an hour. I'm good. Blah, 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 blah. And because the woman, 9 times out of 10, they might end up going to like medics or have it say, well, I want to be a phlebotomist or something like that. And they want to start doing all this extra stuff. Yeah, I remember the days seeing all those chicks walking up the top with the little nurse outfits or going to medics.
Medics. Everybody went to that daggone medics. Oh my God.
The first thing they do, they start working at a nursing home. And they like, well, I can still do this nursing thing. And they keep on pushing with nursing. I think, they're like RN or LPN or CN, something like that. And they're making that good money. And they take that opportunity to go ahead and keep on pushing forward with education. And it's like, well, he's over here doing this physical job. A man ended up getting complacent working somewhere. He's been working there for 15, 20, 25 years. And now at a later age, he's just like, well, yeah, baby, I'm making $90,000 a year, but she's working at a nurse. She's working as a nurse or a charge nurse or a head nurse or something like that. And she's making $140,000 a year, maybe more. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they end up getting to a point where you got a lot of women. I've seen a lot of women getting their CDLs. Like it's a lot of women truck drivers now.
Yeah, it is.
And they not those large Marge looking ones from Pee-wee Herman movie. It's like you got some little baddies out here driving trucks. I'm like,
now see, a lot of that is true. A lot of that is true. A lot of that is true. But you know what? That's a lot of these guys' fault. A lot of times you don't even have to go out here, go to college or nothing. There's enough things out here that you can go and make money and still come up as a man.
Right. But they don't. But women take those opportunities. It ain't about they giving. Then women will go find how to put on lashes and these wigs and making socks or t-shirts. Women know their financial situation and will do something. I have more men that I know, either professionally or personally, that won't do the same. They start the woe is me bullshit every time, and I can't do, and the woe is me. Women, we just like popping. We do different things because we know what it is. So you have a lot of, because I've heard just shows go, you talking about Whammo, entrepreneur, yeah, because we going to get out here and hustle. Even back in the day, they used to women would take in laundry or babysit kids or I'm talking about like back in the 1950s where our administration trying to throw us back to, you getting your wish creek back to the 50s. They did that, washing people laundry, going to clean people's houses, babysit. So they always had a side hustle and a hustle and a hustle.
But same nothing new. At the same time as Creek said, but women still get more of an opportunity too, because while you was taking the laundry and babysitting, they weren't letting no men up in their house to do that.
Okay, but what's the excuse now? So what's the excuse now when there's all these opportunities out there? I have more men that give me the song and dance bullshit, and I have to play the violin in my head instead of getting your ass up to do what you need to do.
That's very true.
I look at that as a big part of fair failure, in my opinion. Like that's a fair failure for a lot of people. Like I said, you can, like, all right, case in point, let's say somebody worked at a warehouse for 20 years. They were there for 15 years, 20 years. Now they could have started working there at 18. They're 38, about to be 40. They like, okay, this warehouse is shutting down, or y'all got to take pay cuts and all that. So now this guy has to figure out something else. So now it's all about starting over. Most men, like I said, it's a level of complacency.
You got that right.
Spot. You're not looking to find another skill to add on to what you already do, because all you know is I'm gonna go to work, go home, go to sleep, get up, go to work, go home. You know what I mean? The same routine. So when you're not working to try to build another skill, if something goes wrong, now it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm scrambling because I don't have another skill to take home. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to what I said before. Like when men are growing up, we'll look at, like I said, I mean, I used to see people going to like I go to my grandmother's house down on Aspen Street, see all the guys getting up, going working for John Hopkins. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, they good. They got a good job. They down Hopkins. They go to work every day. Da, 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 da. And or you see them going working for Public Works or the trash truck people. Like you see them getting up every day. They going to work. They got their little orange jumpsuits on.
They get set in their ways with that. Yes, they get complacent in their ways. So
when they get set in their ways, it's like, okay, this is all they know.
Right.
And they don't have any room to go learn anything else. And then, you know what I mean? So if they don't have room to go learn anything else, while a woman is inside school, she still has her friends that may be doing other things. So her friend is an anesthetician, so she knows, and she does like the nails and, oh yeah, girl, show me how to do that. Oh,
boom, your circle of influence. That means y'all jokers don't have a circle of influence of dudes that you hanging with that's not gonna make you better. I went to a conference, they say your circle,
so who are you around
who is sitting at your table? You have to create the people that's sitting at your table. They talk about friends, foes, family members. Who's sitting at your table? And that's what women do. We get out hind part. I'm not saying it to one race because I know some hardworking other women and do extra jobs and tutor after school and and they baristas, they working at the whatever. Complacency. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's so many opportunities for men. I don't want to hear none of that. My cousin been independent. What you been about? How do you creep? About 40 years. I'm gonna put you old. My cousin been independent for 40 years. I know some other guys been independent on what they do. I don't hear nothing about complacency. It's been so much. People could have did stuff virtually when COVID was happening. You could have did. I don't care what you. Go sell some tires, make you a tire shop. But if you want to be comfortable, I don't hear this wars me bullshit and you ain't got no money. It's a whole bunch of stuff other than some illegal crap or selling your body that you could do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. Y'all hitting it. Y'all hitting it. And
you know, I've dated men that's not on, as y'all say, my level. The guy that I used to visit Atlanta is he drives trash trucks, but he make 90,000 because he work overtime. Okay,
but you know what? A job is a job.
And he is just as happy when he works overtime. He wasn't one for nothing. Shoot, whatever. I ain't paid. No, unless I wanted to pay. Other than that, no. And he was a trash garbage truck driver. Look at Rock, the show Rock. Rock was a garbage man. His wife was in there, and they were just as happy as hell.
Right. And we always forget to mention Rock, that show too.
I still watch it because it come on Pluto.
Yeah, they had good family dynamics in
and I love the fact of that situation. Because my accolades and the things I do is for me. It's not the gloat that I had this, and I'm not going to take a man that's on my level. At the end of the day, when I go home and throw that bra off, I'm still me. Right. I'm still me. I could turn off my voice not gonna be myself. Yeah, I'm me, and I'm still like what I like. I might like a hood rat that y'all call hood dude or whatever. Sure. But that's what I like. That has nothing to do with my professional life at all.
Yeah, call up Cousin Pookie.
Yeah, depending on what day it is.
Me D said took DEI away, Creep. Could you let us know what DEI is? And also Me D said give women their flowers. We earned it all.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay. All right. So that's the thing. And you know what? You do have to give it to women. I know some women that were very hard and try to make up on situations and they didn't work. But here's the key about that. as long as you did it and you know you did it.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to make up some, that's all it takes. If the people who you try to make it up to can't process what you've done and what you try to do, that's their problem.
I think as you get older, you got to self-satisfy you and stop worrying about what other people think. As you get older, and I saw this little meme, they had this mean lady. I said, I'm going to be the mean old auntie, because I just be like, nope. I don't even have to think about it. Just like, nope. I'm not, nope. I don't even have to I'm going to think, no. I'm not even thinking about nothing too long because I ain't going to remember. I'm not. Because you got a lot of stuff going on and you want to keep your process going. You don't want to dwell on a lot of different things. And you don't want to think long, because you think long, you think wrong, typically. You got to stick with them decisions. Nope. I don't have time for that. You got to be firm in your decisions so they'll get done. A lot of times, if you wishy-washy, no matter what it is, from your health, wellness, relationships, changing jobs, changing the way you live, if you keep thinking about it too long, you're not going to do it.
Amen. I agree with you on that, cuz. Now, let me ask you this. Now, you've been married, cuz, right? You are a woman, and any woman that's on TikTok or YouTube, if y'all can let me know this, right?
Yeah.
Why do women become unhappy with their husbands over time?
Don't say they don't have. I think a lot of women mature and grow more typically than their spouse. And I think when you say you're leveling up and they don't level up because either they don't care, don't want to, that's why sometimes.
Okay. So with you saying that, she's leveling up and he's not. Give us an example, if you may, of what did she level up to, and for him, what happened?
I'm gonna give you an example, and most of us can relate. Good times when Florida was trying to get her GED, and James didn't want her to go to school because he felt like if she got her education, she would be uppity and leave him behind, and he was acting crazy, and she was like, "Oh, James, you shouldn't say that to the children." Something something or is or something he said, and she was like, "It isn't, it's not isn't whatever he said." It's like it is not, So that was a scenario, and then he found out. She was like, "I'm not trying to," I forgot how she called it. "I'm not trying to get above you. I want you to move with me." So at the end, he wound up going to school with her. He bought her some books, and she took he wanted to go get his GED too, so they could level up together. So that was a Black people. If you or white, you might watch the Good Times. They got it on. You can watch Good Times at any time. And I just go back and watch some of the shows because it was different times when you watch the older shows. But yeah, that was an example of a level up that we saw commercially. They weren't the Huxtables, a lawyer and a doctor. They were in the projects. And I'd be like, damn it, James, if you don't let that Afro huzzy get a job so y'all can get out the daggone projects, she had to wait till you die to go get a job.
Florida ain't want to get out the projects.
Hold on.
Right. James, don't do that. James, know your integrity. When he wanted to go with Sam, the Gibby man, that was the pastor, he could have got out. He said, "Oh, your integrity." I was like, "Girl, you don't let that man do all that fake stuff they do now in churches."
When he found that money at that daggone grocery store. James, no, you got to give it back. That grocery store rocking everybody in the hood to sleep. You get mad because he back.
What? Well, he kept like 2,000 or something. That was just on.
Yeah, something like that.
Or did somebody want more rent?
Florida love the peas. She ain't care nothing about moving on nowhere. Every
she
time
wanted to be there with Walona.
The peas, Florida, man, she was the villain of the show.
She wanted to stay with Walona, remember? And when they when Thelma and the guy wound up getting upgraded to Lakeshore Drive, and all of a sudden they was going to a duplex, and then Walona was gonna be. I said, "Oh Lord, no."
Hey, brother-in-law said Florida was cheating the whole time.
Oh Lord, no. Not that gap. Sorry, Sorrel.
Nobody smacking Florida. She
They
was
weren't
living
Sorry,
out. She was
Soror.
living that life through Walona.
Mm-hmm.
Walona
What's
was
up,
the one at Rainbow's calling it a boutique.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think that was a good example because of why wives become unhappy. That's one of the things
And
that
a lot of time when they are homemakers, because I can give you Archie Bunker and Edith. She wanted to upgrade something. Archie was a man, as y'all say, a man. So he was like, absolutely not, absolutely not. She was like, I just wanna, how she had that squeaky voice, do it. And they had an episode about she wanted to do something. But remember, Florida was dead. No, not her. Sorry, that was Wheezy, wrong black woman. Wheezy and then was their neighbor and George.
now let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask because I think you said something because we were talking or whatever. How long? And I'll ask Shimmy since he just popped on. How long does it take for a woman? I'm sorry. How long will it take for you, Shimmy, to say that this woman is the one?
Not long at all.
Okay. What could she possibly display to you for you to say not long at all?
I tell her no a couple of times, and she don't get no attitude. That's where it all starts. If a woman really wants you, she won't bother you. So that being said, leading up to that, how you know that she's the one? You tell her no a few times because she gonna test the hell out you. She gonna try you.
Okay.
And you tell her no, and then she stay with you and keep a good attitude. Then that means yes for you.
Okay. So cuz I'm gonna ask you the same question, but vice versa. How long do you have to be dealing with a man to find out whether if he's the one?
Don't know. There's no limit. I'm not doing nothing fast and after the 3 or nothing like that. It's gonna take time. And it depends on what type of relationship we establish we want to have together.
Okay. All right. And that's what we were talking about earlier. And yeah, so it's for me, it takes time. It could be years sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because some things could pop up and they can show you, their true colors. So, how about you, XL?
It kind of varies because like I said earlier, it's all about compatibility. If I feel that strongly about being around you, it can happen instantaneously, or it could be a thing where it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. I gotta check it once, check it twice, and then if it don't move, if it don't apply, you must fly. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna stay with you on this one, XL. If you were married, and I hate this because when when a couple get married, I'd rather for them to stay married, right? But what would be the thing you get divorced for?
Be the what? I couldn't hear you.
What would be the very thing that you would divorce for?
Infidelity.
Okay. That's the only one?
Yeah.
Okay. Jim Dog, how about you?
Yeah, infidelity and lying.
Okay. All right. How about you, Cub?
I had both of them comments and I still would stay married. It was just, I'm sorry, I was trying to get the stand on my phone to work. I guess when the person call it quits, they no longer want to actively be in a marriage.
Okay.
When they say, they've had enough or it's to an end, then it'll be to an end.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, hindsight, you can't say boo to me too hard. I definitely would not be the sweet mama from back then. I wouldn't have stayed do domestic violence now. You can't even say boo to me and I'd be like, block. It'd be real bad now. These boogers ain't got a chance because I don't have tolerance for it. I'm throwing you out. I'm not even giving you that much leeway or chance anymore because I don't have time. On to the next or whatever. But like I said, I'm in a polygamous relationship right now.
So
Are you
between
going
your
to
bed
Utah?
and your pillow,
By chance, you going to
Mhm.
Utah?
Say that again.
I said you polyamorous with your bed and your pillow.
No, I got some other players in the situation.
Um, now, Me D said I need to see him in all of his seasons, so it could take some time. Another one that makes sense because I mean, like I said, you really can't put a time on it, but you can put experiences on it. You can do that. Different experiences.
I think people now so much now are liars so quick or deceivers and how they are or who they if they mess with other people or they not living up to who they are. It don't even take all that. Like back in the day when we was dating people, it don't even take that long. Either social media or just you watching people go quirky ways. Because we saw a lot of reels, a lot of shows that have shown people that had quirky ways and what to look for. That now it's embedded in your mind. So it ain't taking us now that long to figure people out. People weirdos. It'll come
That's
out
the worst
real
part
quick.
about everything. As I said before, people take things they see on social media and on TV, reality shows and all that, and they take it to heart and don't realize like some things could be just simple as a conversation. But you can understand why somebody may do something, and then you can end up throwing. But they say you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You could be throwing away somebody good for you for not even understanding why something was done because you had a feeling of something was wrong.
Well, a lot of time women have that intuition. You get them butterflies in your stomach. But I'm not talking about the reality show. I'm talking about First 48, those type of shows, not the fake stuff, the love and hip hop, not that type.
I
I'm
mean,
talking
they
about
had them
these.
Hallmark
So that because
shows back
you
in the
missed,
day.
I don't know if you missed the part where Cree was talking about the teacher down in Georgia that was killed by her female lover. You hear horror stories all the time. Man was dating two women. He was like a anesthesiologist, something real, prominent, and wound up going to that. And it was videotape killing the baby mama and something with the girl. It was a mess. Whatever it was a mess. But stuff like that be like, yeah, you seen some triggers. Just because somebody got a title of a job and they good at their bookwork ain't got nothing to do with their personality or their behavior.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are functioning. We used to say functioning alcoholics. Remember that back in the day, or functional drug users. It's a lot of functionally mentally ill folk. Because a lot of times you'd be surprised, people will have I'm on medication, or I'm bipolar. They will scream that real quick when they do something that's not appropriate. Let's say at work or in situation. I'm bipolar. I'm medicated. I've had people say, you just watch people like, why is this person at work shaking? They always shaking when it's a situation where they have to perform something. I'm
I'm a
bipolar
functioning
too, and
bipolar
I did
person.
this. I mean, I'm bipolar too, and I'm this, that, the third. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, no wonder. Do you think, yeah, I was right? Something you taking medication.
Now,
So just the quirkiness of people.
Pokey Sue said there is no possible way to know if they are the one, male or female, until you live with them. Now, that is another way. Like I told you, experiences. You have to go through these experiences. Even with Mimi said, the seasons. You got to experience these, people in different environments, different seasons. Pokey Sue, another good one. Until you live with them. You know what I mean? You find out a lot. You find out a lot. You know what I mean?
Have y'all seen those stories? And I'm not being gruesome, I'm about to get off. But they were talking about how people get married and the wife might find out the husband gay and he wound up killing her and killing everybody just right off the bat.
Yep.
From a marriage. They was living together, but once they got married, stuff come out, people come at your wedding. No, don't marry that person. Then you find out some foolishness and they wind up killing the person. I've seen a lot of that lately. Men who've been down low, whatever low they want to be, and wind up killing their wives. Once the wives found out they were different than what they portrayed. It's been some scary stories, like make you think. Not that you're supposed to stop your life, but just make you think and just be, vigilant in how you're dealing with folk.
You remember
Even being friends with people. Don't let everybody in your house.
Do you remember?
Don't be hanging out with everybody.
I think it was Jenny Jones, I think it was. And she
Who's that?
Remember the talk show host. And she had invited this guy on her show, and then she invited the other guy because he liked the guy, and he felt so embarrassed that he ended up going and killing the guy because he was.
I remember that. Yeah. I had the blonde. Yeah. I remember. Yes. And that man was like embarrassed that, and he probably was gay, but he wasn't gonna come out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He could have gave that man some signals, but then when he brought him in public, and it kind of embarrassed him because maybe that man maybe thought he was gay and that's why he was hitting on him. But if he coming out on a national consent, I remember her with the blonde hair syndicated show, you now embarrass him. Now people can be like, he did have some tendency. Maybe that's why he liked them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And he may not have been comfortable with his sexuality of not coming out being true, because you still have people like that. They're not comfortable. A friend of mine told me a story about one of his neighbors. It was a husband and wife couple. And so he was like, oh, one of the neighbors getting divorced because the wife found out the husband was taking naked pictures. You know how people take naked pictures of their little body in the mirror?
Right.
Well, come to find out when she looked, they said, if you go looking, right, Shimmy, if you go looking, you're going to find.
Right.
Found out he was sending the naked picture to another man. And the wife didn't know she didn't have no indication that her husband gay. He probably did. She just probably overlooked it. But he was sending new pictures to another man. And not just the pictures, had the conversation, let's exchange photos when we gonna hook up. So you already know he probably been doing the deed a long time in the dark. And now she found it out, so now they divorcing. Well, go divorce and sell the house.
Yeah,
This is real life. This wasn't like a made up story. This is like real life.
You never know about that. What's going on here in these streets and in these houses.
And I told everybody is not a flaming gay person.
Right.
They're not out here with the pocketbooks and the lipsticks. You got a lot of what we call thugged out looking regular dudes. They like it. They like it too. I said that, and I said, stop thinking everybody's gonna be flaming or hot or hyper or loud. And I was telling, so the heterosexual guy, I said, everybody's not gonna come off like that. You got a lot of regular dudes like, hey man, they might be at the gym. You got them at the gym. We'll try to spot another one. He look good to him. He may try the what y'all call it, try the hand. And a lot of times they may go that way. Oh yeah, So it ain't because they might be big and buff. They're not like that. Big buffs like it too. They ain't got nothing to do with the feelings on what they want.
Right. Well, I mean, this world today is definitely not the world of yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, and you really have to watch yourself and watch your loved ones. Be ready to protect yourself and protect your loved ones, but also make sure that you keep people around you again that have your best interests at heart. Because if you don't, it could be bad. So, man, and Shim Dog, we wish you had came on earlier, man. I know you probably was working or whatever. But we understand. And I want to send a shout out to everybody who stayed on TikTok and supported us. We really appreciate your presence and everything. We come on Wednesday with the music show. So if y'all know anybody, any dope artists that y'all feel as though y'all want to get their music reviewed, or they should get their music reviewed through our show, which is called the Brutally Honest Rap Show, and we are brutally honest a lot of times on that. So tell them they gotta be able to pack their be able to accept criticism. So because we're gonna let them know if they got trash or if they have something dope. Then on Fridays like tonight, we have the relationship show, Conversations in Crete with Sweet Mama G, and we got Shimmy and we having XL and other people come on. So you guys are always welcome as well. We can come on and talk relationships. And but like I said, I'm going to get these platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all together so we can be on all one screen and really have this show going on. And you got anything else to say, cuz?
How did you like your show on Wednesday? I'm just saying, how did you like the artist? Where did you get her from?
Where I got her from.
You booked her on the show. Where did you get her from?
She came through MJ. Since you
okay.
See, look at you try. Yeah, no, I thought she was dope. I only heard one song. I wish she would have stayed in one spot so we can actually hear what she was saying. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll have her back on some other time. But I think that one song that she did send, it was a party song. I thought it was dope. That was her radio song, and I think it radio spins. You know what I mean? But I wanted, and she wanted to freestyle too, and that's what I'm about to start making. A lot of these guys do. Like, hey, really show us some skills right now. You know what I mean?
You used to do that. You used to ask a couple of them, they would just freeze up, or they wouldn't say, they wouldn't give us anything, and you put them on the spot. That used to be funny.
Yeah, no, we about to really start putting them back on the spot, and we about to have them like, if y'all gonna invest in yourselves, when y'all drop this song, it's gonna be you put that donation up in there too, because we got people up on here. We out in these streets working, and it's time. It's time, cuz. So that's how we're gonna do. And once again, man, blessings to y'all from that's on TikTok, and major blessings as well to our people here on YouTube. Shout out to you. Want to take the shout outs over, cuz, or how you want to?
Okay. Thank you, Shem, for coming in, and Excel and Marla. She was on earlier, holding it down, because y'all know I got the algae eyes. I was asleep.
You're right.
Pokey Sue, Mimi, brother-in-law with his antics in the old picture of Creep. That was funny. Thank you, Big Cousin Leslie. F. Harris, thank you for the comments and your interaction today. It was very valuable. Thank you so much. High Priestess, I think Miss Christina with her shenanigans. Tiff Trey, happy recovery. We hope that you continue to recover. We had this person named AV, not sure. Your Royal High Priestess number 2. Thank you for coming in as well. Miss Marissa, thank you for coming in. Nate from Upstate, salute. Thank you for coming in. And let me see. My eyes is like burning. And Michael Mass, he was way back at 1106. Think about complete Mass when it comes to being sneaky. Thank you so much for your comment. And let me see. Street Tactics. And that was it on our end. On this platform end.
Yes, and I wish I can go back on TikTok so I can shout them out. But Charles Swain, man, I got to learn this TikTok thing. You know what I'm saying? I really do. But there was a lot of people that came through, and we really appreciate all of y'all here on Conversation in Crete. Matter of fact, I got my Conversation in Crete t-shirt
we
on.
See, don't we see it, Shammy? You got your shirt, Sammy?
No, I didn't get my shirt.
And you live in Georgia, correct? But down there,
Hey, as long as I got my bite fixed, he can take the shirt and wipe his ass with
it.
Here we go.
So
here we go.
Y'all know how we do. We will see each other Again on Wednesday. Make sure y'all come through Wednesday at 9 p.m. We got Brutally Honest Rap Show. And then next Friday at 10 p.m. for the relationship show. We are out, everybody. I would stay a little longer, but I'm sorry. We got some racing to do tomorrow.
How? The ground is soaking wet, sir. Where you racing that inside the Georgia Dome?
Nah, Calhoun, Georgia.
It's dry down there.
No, that track.
They do muddy tracks. Shimmy.
Yeah,
They be
It
doing muddy
ain't the
tracks.
same. It ain't. Mud is different from dirt.
Yeah,
But they've been doing mud.
Yeah,
They've been doing mud.
taking mud baths out here in these streets.
You never saw them with the mud, Jimmy?
Be careful.
I know you already told me you got to do surgery. What other foolishness he talk about?
Yeah, man, that sucks. But you know what?
Are you racing or you just going with them in the race? Quay.
No, I'm a race. I got some points to protect in my class, but I'm not gonna ride hard. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna ride hard. I'm not trying to rip anything else. I'm trying to hit. So, but I'm gonna take it easy for the most part. All right.
Okay. Well, y'all enjoy. We'll see the video. Y'all gotta subscribe to what is called Stewart's.
Yes,
MBS.
MX Journey.
MX Journey.
That's our journey of us getting back into racing motocross, right? And it's funny because a lot of times we be the only black faces out there. But you know what? It's much love. You know, our white brothers and sisters, they show us much love, and we have
that's how it is when you have hobbies. You know, when you have hobbies like that, color don't matter. You're having fun.
Yeah, having fun. And you know what? They are some great people that we meet out there. And you know, I mean, it's a different part of my life that I'm enjoying later on in my life.
And that's up. Listen, long as you do it, it don't matter whether it's late or early. People don't understand that it's about enjoying the quality of life while you still have it and can't do those things. Because you could be, y'all black men are exceeding the age range now. You know, you can make it to get 45, you know, nowadays, because it's a lot of, one of my coworkers' husbands died, had cancer for several years. And he actually is like my distant cousin on my dad's side, which is weird. But he died of cancer recently. And they're young people, 42, 43. That's young. You know, just coming into having grandkids, and now the grandkids won't know who he was except through memories. So enjoy whatever you like to enjoy. Go and enjoy. Shit. You got to be the God. If that's your thing, it's your judge and jury, not us. We don't care. Have fun. Get it popping. Pop your knees if you have to pop them back in place.
I ain't trying to do all that, cuz.
I got to pop mine in place. Y'all know it's chicken wing time. Y'all have a good weekend. And I will, because you don't never text me. You know I be here asleep when I get off work.
No,
and my allergies. You see how little my eyes is from the allergy.
Yeah,
the pollen is just unreal in the South. My eyes is done.
Crazy, ain't it? Cuz
I had to get eye drops because I'm rubbing my eyes so much. My cornea is changed. I had to go to the specialist. So now I got to use these drops, but I haven't used them since I got home and opened my door. The power must have smacked me right in my eyes.
So do the color of your eyes be changing?
Yes, I have brown hazel eyes. Because my original color is brown with a tint of hazel. So now they're a little bit darker right now. The pollen and stuff is killing my eyes.
Just before you got on, you remember Miss Marla was on, and she was telling us about her past baby father. That's how he got her. Her, like, his eyes be changing colors, and then she ended up getting pregnant.
But I ain't out here trying to get nobody pregnant with my eyes changing. They pretty. I just I can't see crap out of it. As you get older, it get worse. But no, this pollen has been really tough. And they cleaned my front and blew the pollen back on my door that I just cleaned off in my little, that little plate you step on when you walk into your house. So I'm pissed. I got to get out here tomorrow and take care of that and take all the stuff I need to take before I go back outside to clean. Because that's all I'm doing. My balcony is yellow. I have a dark colored balcony and that thing is yellow and I need to go to the store. I'm like, Lord. So I'm
Mm.
touching everything with a tissue, like your door handles, because all your door handles, your car handles. And I had to get an unlimited wash membership because I ain't paying $32 every time I go. So I just went and got unlimited car wash because it's ridiculous.
Right.
So yeah. So y'all have a good one.
All right, cuz. Love you,
Be
cuz.
safe getting wherever you going, Shimmies.
And
Still
I'm here,
driving.
cuz. And all right, Shim Dog, I'll talk to you in a day or so. And
All
thank
righty.
you on TikTok once again. And thank you everyone on YouTube once again. And we will see y'all in a couple days. Out.
Peace out.